Hey friends, Mike here. It's June the 7th, Wednesday. We are going to do a video on zucchini squash relish. Guys, it's been amazing. We've had so much squash and zucchini. We've breaded it. You see in previous videos, we've breaded it, frozen it. We've done all kinds of cool things with it, but we're going to go ahead today and make a relish. This recipe is inspired by Todd and Rachel at that 1870s Homestead. Love your channel, folks. You guys do a lot of interesting and great cooking, and we love to watch your channel. As you can see, our granddaughter's with her friends swimming. Summer is here. The temperatures are going to be in the hundreds probably for the next 10 days. So as long as it's not 110, we can deal with 100 degrees. But let's just take a look around the garden, folks, and we'll get in the kitchen and we'll start that relish. Okay guys, I know it looks like somebody came in here and with a weed eater, but no, we did a lot of pruning, okay? We're gonna rethink the way we plant our tomatoes. I put two tomatoes together too close, but that's fine, they're doing good. Next year we're gonna be doing vertical growing, but look at all of these cherry tomatoes. This bush is packed. So we're really happy about that. Lots of basil. So when we harvest these cherry tomatoes, I'm going to be making a lot of cherry tomato salads with basil and balsamic vinegar. Again, yellow pear tomatoes, as you can see. These tomatoes are doing good as well. The Beefmaster, Arkansas Traveler. Now I want you guys to check this out. Now, Mr. Eddie at Pool Boys and Lippy, I didn't commit to no tomato growing competition, but I might just slide in there. Check this one out. Look at that big boy. So I'm gonna let that go, and I'm gonna put it on the scale and we'll see what happens. Peppers, peppers, peppers. We are doing amazing. These are the hot bananas, same here. These are the Scotch bonnets. Already got Scotch bonnets on here, guys. Look at those. The beets are doing really well. I'm going to be probably harvesting these tomorrow, and I'm going to be canning beets. And I will go ahead and I'll film that for you guys. Tomatillos doing really well. They're starting to form their little paper portions, and then the tomatillos grow inside of them, as you can see right here. Squash, squash, squash everywhere. Our salad bar is kind of coming to the end, folks. You know, when we start getting into these temperatures, upper 90s and then 100, we're basically harvest what we can. You know, you can harvest these, you know, rinse them, dry them, and put them in paper towels and Ziploc bags, and they'll last a few weeks. Herbs are doing good, but at this time of the year, the salad bar is going to kind of shut down until the fall. But that's okay. Culture garden is amazing. Look at all that. We've got a butternut squash, two, three of them. Another, looks like another pumpkin growing. More yellow squash. I'm going to harvest that later tonight. Our Native American squash. I'll put the name of it. I can't pronounce it. It's beautiful. Probably gonna have to harvest that tonight. But look at our pumpkin, guys. We've got 2 or 3 pumpkins in the garden. Isn't that just beautiful? And another pumpkin. And we've got some spaghetti squash up in there. Sweet potatoes are doing really good. There it is. And I know there's another one in here. It's just hiding. Okra's doing really good. Very happy. I've been harvesting. I like to harvest when they're around this size. I'll harvest that tonight or this evening. Our Asian long red beans are doing good too. Grow tables are great. We've got horseradish. We're going to be processing that here soon. We've got our sugar cane that right now it's just going to stay in that pot. It's kind of on standby until we build a bed, a permanent bed. And we've got more Scotch bonnets. Hey, I decided to grow a bunch of Scotch bonnets. I like the flavor, I like the heat. We're gonna probably make a bunch of different hot sauces and things like that. Bell peppers are doing great, guys. Look at the lettuce, it's starting to bolt. So I'm gonna go ahead and harvest this tonight. And then I'm gonna process. We've got a bunch of bok choy, our bush beans, and of course along the fence, cucumbers and Kentucky Wonder beans. The herbs are doing great, guys. I cut back our chamomile. It'll start to flower again. Of course, we've got our electric culture antennas. A lot of people doing different videos about that. Guys, we're just gonna give it a try. Why not? I'm not an expert on it. We've done several videos in the past. Miss Rochelle's flowers are doing amazing. So we're loving the color. These flower beds are doing great as well too. All right, guys, Miss Rochelle's butterfly bush. Look at that. There's a ton of butterflies. Gotta stay still. See them all? Pretty nice. You having fun? I guess you are. All right, guys, we are in the kitchen. We're gonna make a zucchini or a squash relish. You can use zucchini or squash. I've got a basic recipe, okay? I got this recipe from Rachel and Todd at that 1870s Homestead. I'll put a link to their video in there. Wonderful channel, we love them. I might change some things around, but we'll just kind of go with the recipe. The first thing I'm gonna do is we have a ton of squash. Every day we're harvesting one of each. Yellow squash and then the green egg rollers. We're gonna use both of these. We are gonna use some onions. We'll take you into the mudroom and I'll show you where we put our onions for storage. We've got some banana peppers as well too. And then we are gonna use our homemade raisin vinegar. Guys, we made this in past videos. I can put a link to that as well too. This one's been around since 2021, so a couple of years. And it just gets better as it ages. But I'm gonna go ahead and start FIFOing, first in, first out, start rotating. And then I wanna do another video, guys, too, and I'll show you how to make a fruit or raisin vinegar. It's really easy and it's amazing. So it's gonna be a good product to make. And it does have enough acidity. If it doesn't have enough acidity, I'll go ahead and I'll add some white vinegar to it. So when we can the product, it's gonna stay fresh. Sugar, cumin, chili, celery seed, dill seed, mustard, turmeric. I didn't get the turmeric out. I'll get that out right now. There we go, turmeric. And that's pretty much it. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna shred all these, chop these peppers. We're gonna shred up the onions as well. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put everything that's shredded, mix it together, and we're gonna heavily salt it. And then we're gonna let it just sit in the fridge, probably for about 4 hours. Later this afternoon, I'll complete the recipe. Oh, I wanna do a quick shout out. I was at the grocery store yesterday, and a gentleman said, "Hey, Mike, Central Texas Homestead, I know you." And I'm like, wow, okay. Hey, David, it was nice to meet you yesterday, sir. I know you live just in the town north of us. Your two beautiful little girls. It was really nice to see you guys. We really appreciate you being subscribers and watching the channel. So it was just nice to meet you, Dave. You are local. You can send us an email if you want to come tour the garden, if you need help gardening, and we're here to help you out. Let's get to work. Hey, real quick, guys, I just want to show you how we keep our recipes. I think it's pretty cool. Miss Rochelle's very organized. But we have them in categories: breads, sauces, vegetables, starches, beef, pork, etc. And then in the back we have our canning as well too. But just a neat way, if you go buy a file folder, that you can keep your family recipes. Gosh, I've got recipes in here from my grandmother and my mom. So it's just a nice way to keep your recipes. All right, guys, we've got a big cutting board set up. I like a lot of surface space. Now what I do is a silicone baking pad. I like to put that down at the bottom. You can put a wet towel. When I was a chef, this was kind of a trick that we use. I don't want this to slide, but this holds it really firm, as you can see. So we're gonna take our squash. I did cut it at an angle right here, because what I wanna do is I wanna go ahead and take my squash and I wanna just hand grate it. I could put this through the food mill, but I don't really want to get out all that equipment when I can just use this simple by hand. So I'm going to continue to do this. We're going to go ahead and grate the entire squash. Look how pretty that is. So I'm going to continue working on this, and then we'll move on to the peppers and onions. All right, we've got our green griller squash. I'm going to pretty much go around the edges, guys. The thing about this squash is it does have a lot of seeds in the middle, but that's okay. I can go around the edging. What I can do, well, a couple of seeds in there ain't going to kill you. I can cut that middle. See all those seeds, folks? I can cut that middle part out. I'm not doing this the right way, guys. I shouldn't be holding the knife like that, but yeah, that'll work. Just core that out. Just go around the edge. Man, we've had amazing squash harvest this year. You'll see in the previous videos, we went ahead and we floured, egg washed, and we went ahead also too, and then put panko breadcrumbs. We quick froze them, and then we backpacked them, and then now they're in the freezer. So hey, you know, we come home, or we're home anyway. We work from home, but if we get off of work, we can go ahead and saute them, bake them. Okay, now we're going to clean up and we're going to move on. All right, guys, we keep our onions and garlic in the mudroom. It's nice and cool in here. They're dry, they're hanging. These will last probably all the way up into October. We've had them last. And if I need an onion, I just come out here, just take one of these, just cut it, just like that. And they store really well. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get these onions ready to go. Just going to cut them in half, peel them, and we're going to go ahead and grate them as well too. Just get that same texture. And then we'll probably just slice the peppers. Alright guys, we have soaked our mix. Now we need to take it to the sink and we need to rinse it really good. Alright guys, we're going to make our brine. I'm going to use our homemade raisin vinegar. Oh, it smells amazing. I'm going to put about a couple of cups. And then we're going to move this aside. And we're going to go ahead and add about a half a cup. I don't want it too sweet. Of sugar. Try to use organic if you can. You know, relish is supposed to be somewhat a little sweet and balance it out. So let's just go ahead and just do a cup. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put a tablespoon of pickling and canning salt. Maybe just a little bit less than a tablespoon. That's fine. All right, we're going to put half a teaspoon of cumin seeds. I want a lot of flavor, guys. Turn that heat up. Put a little teaspoon of chili flakes. Celery seed, same thing. Again, you can follow the recipe. Dill seed. Mustard seeds. And a little bit, half a teaspoon of turmeric. All right, we're going to let that brine come to a simmer, and then we'll be right back. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and fill our jars. We've rinsed the mix, the squash, onions, and peppers really well. Probably going to get about 4 quarts. We want to pack it in, but we want to make sure to leave some room, obviously, for the brine. Look how nice that color is. Really bright. You can see the brine is doing really well. So I'm going to go ahead and finish packing these. Go ahead and put about a half a teaspoon of citric acid, just to make sure the acidity level is good, because it is a homemade vinegar, guys. And I'm going to go ahead and put 1/4 teaspoon of pickle fresh. It'll keep them crisp. Just add that to the brine, and we'll let it sit for another 2 minutes and simmer. Okay, we're going to go ahead and fill our jars with the brine. Try and get some of them seeds and flavors in there. If you don't use all the brine, guys, remember, cool it down and put it in the fridge. Save it for another pickling. Let me get a chopstick so I can debubble. Just want to debubble. Make sure that brine gets down in there really good. And while that's settling, we'll move on to the next one. That pot's kind of hot. Why it's important to leave a little bit of space in there. Move on to the next. Just trying to find new ways to preserve, you know, all this different squash that we have, guys. We have a lot of squash this year. You know, a simple relish. The last video we did, we took the squash and we dredged it in flour, egg, and then breadcrumbs, and then froze it. That's a good way to preserve. You see how this right here is settling in the jar? We'll be able to top that off with some more brine, but we want to keep debubbling. Just keep working that brine in there. And the nice thing is it's still maintaining that really nice color. It's packed with flavor. Let's go ahead and just top it off a little bit more, each one of them, just a little bit. About a 1/4 inch from the rim. Also too, the squash and the onions and the peppers are starting to absorb that brine. Once we get this done, guys, we're going to clean the lids off really well, and then we're going to water bath can these for about 10 to 15 minutes. Let them cool. Probably 24 hours, and they will be shelf stable. We'll be right back. Paper towel with distilled white vinegar on it. We want to wipe down the lids, make sure everything is clean, 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 clean. Yeah, we've been canning almost, gosh, 2 or 3 times a week. Everything obviously in succession. You know, we don't harvest a whole bunch at one time, so you know, a little 4 quarts here, 3 quarts there, half pints. The lids are sanitized and clean as well. Finger tight. And the only reason why we do finger tight, guys, is if you bear down on it and you really do that, it'll warp the jar and it won't make a good seal and it will leak out. So just good. Finger tight. Alright, we're going to move these into the water bath, and then we're going to simmer those for about 15 minutes. You want to make sure that you at least have 1 inch of water over the top of the jars. We've got plenty. We'll have 2 or 3 inches. And I like to put these in right before the water starts to simmer. You could put something on the bottom of that. I don't worry about it. It does just fine. So we're going to go ahead and put the lid on this, and we're going to simmer this for 15 minutes. We'll be right back. Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Are we going to pull the jars out of the water bath?
Yeah.
All right. How you feeling there, Prego?
I'm feeling
pregnant.
All right, ready? Papa's gonna pull the jars out. Stay there and watch, okay? There's big sister. All right, guys. We're gonna go ahead and pull these out. They've been simmering for about 15 minutes. We're gonna let them sit here probably for about a couple hours, then I'll move them into the other room to where they can sit overnight. These bar mats are really good. The jars tend to cool down pretty quick. All right, well, let's get a close-up look and see if the jars start popping. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Yeah. That's gonna be tasty. What do you think? You gonna eat it? Zucchini and squash relish? On hot dogs, maybe?
Ooh, that sounds good.
I like it out.
All right, we got the grand kiddos. We got a new one on the way, right?
Yeah.
We did it. We canned it. And we did a little garden tour.
We garden?
Garden.
Garden?
You like the garden?
Yeah.
How about you, Mia?
Yeah.
You don't like the garden.
No.
All right, guys, say goodbye to everybody.
Bye.
See you next time.
See you next